even though Hawaii didn't become a state until 1959, there were movements that supported the annexation way before then. Let's go back and travel back in time to the 1890s. Here you'll meet a man named Sanford Dole. In case you didn't know, Sanford Dole was a white businessman whose name was really big in the sugar industry. He mainly wanted Hawaii to be annexed, so the sugar business could be expanded, and in turn, he could get more money for his business. Now, Congress approved a tariff that raised import taxes on foreign sugar. Now, back then, Hawaii wasn't a state. It was the Kingdom of Hawaii, therefore, Hawaii was a foreign place. Now, white American sugar growers in Hawaii didn't like that because they didn't like their sugar to be taxed. So, they wanted Hawaii to become a state so that the sugar wouldn't have to be taxed. Now, if you travel forward in time, fast forward into the future, you will meet 13 Caucasian men who formed a group called the Committee of Safety. Now, that name sounds familiar, doesn't it? Well, of course. The Committee of Safety devised a plan to overthrow Queen Liliuokalani. Now, they actually pulled through and actually overthrew Queen Liliuokalani since they were pro-annexation and pro-Hawaii becoming a state. Now, the president at that time wasn't really comfortable with Hawaii becoming a state at that time. So, he actually planned to reinstate Queen Liliuokalani as the queen again. But, to his disliking, many Americans pushed for the annexation. So the matter of reinstating Queen Liliuokalani was stalled. Now, fast forward to a few more years, there was growing tension internationally between America and many other countries. So, when the Spanish-American War grew out, the president at that time, who was President McKinley, actually was moved to sign the annexation of Hawaii as sort of a last resort, so that Spain wouldn't use Hawaii to their advantage as a naval base. Thank you.
One point of view or perspective of the statehood of Hawaii was that some Caucasians in Hawaii didn't want statehood. The main reason why they didn't want statehood is because Hawaii had a diverse population, mostly because of immigration and immigrants that lived in Hawaii. If Hawaii was going to be a state of America, then it should primarily be Caucasian/American. At the time, the immigrants in Hawaii outweighed or outmatched the Caucasian population. If Hawaii was to become a state, all the immigrants would have more power than the Caucasians that lived in Hawaii at the time. That's it. That's a wrap. Cut. Mr. K class. Named at the top of the board, I am Mr. Anderson. For those who do not know me, I am a World War II veteran, and what we're gonna talk today about is statehood. Did we want statehood? No. Will we ever get statehood? In our opinion, never. Yes, sir. Statehood. Statehood. Statehood.
After World War II, the trust towards Japanese people and immigrants in Hawaii began to rise. Caucasians in Hawaii began to trust more people and began to have a different outlook on immigrants in Hawaii. So in the 1950s, many Caucasian people in Hawaii also began to like the diversity. They believed that this is what Hawaii and America itself was starting to move towards. So another reason was because they liked the monetary gain that they could have received. Because of this, could have had all the protections from the United States, such as military protection, and have the business that the United States could have had as well. And voting of statehood in Hawaii wasn't very representative of the population, but 94% of people who did vote voted for Hawaii to become a state. And at that time period, many major figures in Hawaii did want to become a state, such as Greg Sinclair, who at the time was the president of the University of Hawaii. My name is Greg M. Sinclair, and my opinion on statehood in Hawaii is that it is a good thing. Because of so many immigrants in Hawaii, it has made our culture and many other things different. At my school, our student population is incredibly diverse with many people from Asia and all over the world. Over time, immigrants from Asia will stop coming, but our connection to Asia will never stop. That's why I believe that Hawaii should become a state, because we'll always have this diversity which makes us special.